Now for number 23, we use the keep it short strategy. If you didn't watch that video, that's probably because you noticed that that was a question where shorter answer choice was best, right? There's redundancy and things like that. And we may come into this question thinking the same way. Oh, well, it doesn't seem to be testing a rule, therefore I should just pick what's shortest. But that's really hard to tell here. I mean, maybe C is shortest, it's by a nose, and it's hard to know, well, how does A compare? Because it's not next to the other. So the fact that none of them is obviously shorter tells me that it's probably more complicated than just picking the shortest choice. In fact, there is a rule here. Okay, so we need to kind of learn how to predict the question on this really weird rule and know that there's something I need to do rather than just listen for the best choice or go with my instinct or go with the shortest choice. This isn't about style, this is about grammar. And at first, predicting that can be very difficult. Looking at these answer choices, it doesn't seem obvious. But looking at the sentence, we have a very important structural piece here. Everything in the beginning, before that comma, is what's called a modifier. It's an extra clause that leads into the main sentence. And it's extra because it's describing something. And what we need to make sure that we do is that we follow the modifier, we follow the descriptor with whatever it's describing, with whatever it's modifying. So in this case, it's weird because how could it be the case that no colleagues are becoming frustrated? It doesn't make sense. The thing that follows the comma doesn't match with what we're describing. And one way to kind of know the right answer to these modifier questions is to turn the modifier into a question. Having become frustrated trying to solve difficult problems. Who's becoming frustrated trying to solve difficult problems? I am. So I missed having colleagues nearby to consult. And we understand from other parts of this passage that it's the narrator is talking to us. So there's a lot of I and me, and so doesn't show up necessarily in the sentence, but it would have from context. And that's the only answer. In fact, I'm so confident in this rule that I wouldn't really even need to read the other choices here. There's just no way that they could be correct because none of them start with the thing that's being described, me, I. So ideas, colleagues, no colleagues, it's a problem. This rule does not get tested very often on the SAT, maybe once per exam, and sometimes it will be noticeable what the right answer is. However, it's a rule where your instincts, your ear, might not hear the right answer very well because we sometimes talk incorrectly with this rule, or we just kind of lose sight of what is going on in the sentence. And it doesn't, or more accurately, we understand what the author is trying to say, even if they said it wrong. And so we don't notice a problem. So if we know that this rule exists about modifiers, and we know what a modifier kind of looks like in a sentence, hopefully we can accurately predict, based on the answer choices, based on the sentence, when they're testing this rule and kind of get our brain on that track to notice. It's difficult, but the more you practice, the easier it'll get.